Welcome everyone to another UETH workshop today. We're thrilled to have our guest Push Protocol here today to showcase some of their latest developments. So I'm really excited to have you here. And let me tell everyone a little bit about UETH before we begin. UETH is a collaborative learning community focused on promoting the learning, research, discussion, and advancement of the Ethereum network. So our goal is to cultivate future leaders in the Ethereum ecosystem, providing students with the most intuitive learning experience and equip them with successful tools to tackle uncharted space confidently. So at UETH, we are not only trying to build an education platform, but also working to build a community in which students can connect and learn together. With that being said, we have Fabio Costa here from Push Protocol. And Push Protocol is a Web3 communication network enabling cross-chain notifications and messaging for dApps, wallets, and services. So Fabio, welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a chance to sort of introduce yourself and a little bit more about Push Protocol.
Yeah, sure. So hi everyone. So I'm Fabio. I'm a developer at Push Protocol. And yeah, like the introduction that you gave, spot on, 100%. So we're doing we allow for now EVM chain protocols to send notifications to wallet addresses, and also wallet addresses to start messaging, and very soon to video call each other. And the question is, why wallet addresses? It's because in Web3, our identity is wallet address. So we're taking all the user experience that we had in Web2 for sending messages to phone numbers, sending messages to Telegram IDs, or sending a notification to my phone. Now we're bringing all of this user experience into Web3, where we have the same experience, but we're tying information to users' wallet addresses. So that's what Push Protocol does.
Awesome. I think that's a really clear way to break it down, talking about, the Web 2 analogy. And I think that's something we can all understand, being able to connect with each other across our different apps and now dApps in Web 3. So excited to learn a little bit more about that. What about yourself? Do you want to introduce a little bit about yourself before we get started and take a look at the demo?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So I work on the backend team. I lead the backend team. So most of my job is working on developing the protocol itself, more backend stuff, dealing with the servers, and we're in process of decentralizing the network. So most of my time and my meetings and thoughts and studying goes into looking the best way where we can slowly decentralize the network so the community can be part of this communication layer for Web3. But mostly backend stuff. That's where most of my time I spend.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for the introduction to Push Protocol and the awesome explanation and a little bit about yourself. It's great to get to know you. And yeah, I think as far as that goes, that's a great introduction to everything. Do you want to get started and get into our workshop demo segment? Are you ready?
Yep, sure. So let me
Awesome.
just share my screen here. I think you guys can see my screen, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So cool. So today we're going to be talking about different ways, more specifically, where communication fits if we want to bring that 1 billion users into Ethereum or into the blockchain space in general. So one thing that we always say is that 1 billion users is completely different than 1 million devs, right? So once, for example, when we devs are in a website and, for example, the website's not loading, for us, pretty straightforward, and we like it. We go to the networking tab and we check why the requests are not going through. We go to the console tab, we check if there's an exception, the website we are in. So with devs, we like to solve problems, and that's our jobs. But for the user doesn't ultimately the user doesn't just want to use a protocol or a service that improves their life. The users don't want to spend too much time learning what seed phrase is, or for the user, for example, to keep going to the protocol to see if there is a new governance proposal. So there are different ways or different things that we as Web3 community, we can do to make user experience easier and better and closer to what we have in Web2, so we can then reach to that 1 billion user mark that we are all here aiming for. So there are a couple of things that, from my point of view, I think we can improve. So first of all, for a lot of dapps, they require a lot of actions for do a simple thing. For example, what do I mean by this? Let's say that I want to swap one token on Uniswap, right? So if I want to swap a token on Uniswap, then I must have ETH to cover the gas fees. Then if I want to have ETH and I have dollars, then I have to go to a centralized exchange to deposit dollars, withdraw ETH to my wallet. And let's say that I want to change USDT to, I don't know, another coin, then I have to change my ETH to another coin, but not all of the ETH. So I have enough ETH to cover the gas fees. So there are a lot of interactions that the average user has to do. And the idea is, it would be very nice to combine all of those actions into one or two actions. So we can bundle a bunch of transactions into one. So for the user experience perspective, it's much easier. And the unique case example as well. So the user doesn't, for swapping, you have to approve the token, right? So there is even those extra friction that we have that ideally we would need to remove this so the experience is much better. Second thing is users need to know everything. So a lot of information right now. Protocols expect users to have some background knowledge about the protocol itself. I think especially for the dApps, we can improve a lot of the UI to make the UI much more seamless for the end user, so the end user don't need to go to the documentation and read to understand what the protocol is. Ideally, the dApp should be simple enough and easy enough for a person who's even coming to the Web3 for the first time, doesn't need to go to the docs to learn about the particular protocol. And lastly, of course, I think lack of communication, that's where push comes in. A lot of protocols today, they expect users to come back to the protocol to fetch information. What do I mean by this? Let's say there is a new governance proposal for your favorite DAO. How do you know there is a new governance proposal? Well, you have to go to Discord or Twitter, and you as an end user have to go there and fetch the information by yourself. Well, it will be much easier if there is a way for protocols, whether they are smart contracts or services, to notify users that something happened. For example, notify users that they are about to get liquidated. Instead of actually the user getting liquidated, you only find out when you lose your money. Whenever there's a new governance proposal, whenever someone places a bid on your NFT. I would love to get notified to see, okay, I want to sell my NFT for this price. So definitely communication is one way where we can improve user experience as well, along with the other things I said before. So we can onboard this new wave of users in general. They're not Web3 natives like we are. Yeah, so there are things that I said before, but I can reiterate here. Of course, first point here, we have to improve user experience. That means probably simplifying the process. Of course, we have to improve the UI. We have to embrace AI. There are a couple of, I'm going to give some examples about this, about a project that we saw in India that they use AI to simplify the signing process of a transaction, and then communication re-engage with the user, of course. So the user just sits back and the protocols reach out to the user, and then the user just filters the information, and not the other way around where users have to go there and fetch the information themselves. So I think the big topic recently is definitely account abstraction, and there's a good reason for this, because it definitely increases user experience by a lot. Imagine like my mom, I have to explain my mom what a passphrase, like a seed phrase is, or a private key is. So my mom should not get this, right? I love her, but she won't get this. So the idea is we have to simplify this in a way that it's secure, but also easy for new people to understand, where we can have multi-factor authentication, multi-sig, account recovery. So we can abstract all of even sponsoring transactions. So we abstract away this complexity, and we embrace smart contract wallets where we can customize the logic suited for the end user. Of course, meta transactions as well, so we can abstract away the concept gas fees, and of course automation. There are protocols that handle this, so I don't need to be constantly active into the protocol. I can just submit a transaction, and then I want to buy this particular token on a decentralized exchange. When this token price reaches this, particular price, then that's where automation comes in. So the user just sits back, make an order, post an order, sits back, and then the order will be executed when the conditions are met. Yeah, here are just two examples that we all most people are familiarized with. Lens, of course, a very good example where they abstract a lot of the complexity. Even though there's a lot of blockchain interactions here, for the end user, of stuff is abstracted away. So that's why that's one of the reasons why Lens is so popular, because they master this. The user experience first, where users when users are interacting with Lens, all the concepts of blockchain interactions is abstracted away for the users. So the users just use the app, enjoy, have a good time. They don't need to care about what the things that are happening here, the blockchain interactions here. And Safe is another example where we can have smart contract wallets when we can have multi-sig. So in case I lose my private key, it's still fine because we have other signers or that can recover my wallet, my funds in this smart contract wallet. So those just want to showcase two examples where we're using some of the things we have been discussed before. Yeah. So another things that we can do from my person point of view to improve user experience is, first of all, for me, the first one is very important: remove wallet wall. A lot of dapps, a lot of users, when they want to go to a dapp, they want to see something first before connecting their wallet. We all know that's not good user experience, or it's not secure to simply go into any dapp that we don't know and just connect our wallet everywhere. We just want to connect our wallet into dapps that we know, that we trust. So it would be very nice for protocols and dapps to remove the wallet barrier, in the sense that I go to the dapp, I check, I play with it, and then I'm like, okay, this dapp, it's fine, solves my needs, I want to interact with this. Then I connect my wallet so that I can proceed with the interaction, the on-chain transaction that I have to do. And a great example, this is Uniswap. I can go Uniswap, I can play, I can see my code for a particular conversion. And if I want to actually convert, then I connect my wallet. So Uniswap is a great example of this. Second of all is focus on user. Just gives users what they want. Don't have this UI with 1 million text and videos and things happening. Just make it simple. Like Uniswap. Uniswap is another great example. It's just simple UI where not too much happening there. And there's a reason for this. And that's one of the reasons why Uniswap is so popular, because it's super easy to use. And thirdly, walkthroughs. I think this point, I think that's, for me personally, is very important, which is we cannot expect users to go to documentation to learn about a protocol. The dapp should be self-explanatory, in a way that if I have a question, then we can have a small button like a question mark, where I can hover the mouse and see the text, or we can have like video tutorials on the dapp itself, where it's easier to onboard this new wave of users there. They're soon gonna arrive. I think after all this bear market, we're gonna have a new wave of crypto. It's always ups and downs, like every market. But I think on the next bull market, we're going to have this new fresh new wave of users. Then I think walkthroughs will definitely play a big role on this. Yeah, as I said before, here Uniswap UI clean enough. I can like see the code for my trade even before connecting my wallet. So then if I want to in the end, then I just connect my wallet and execute the transaction. I mean, in Embrace AI, I mean, we're all familiarized with ChatGPT, especially the ChatGPT 4. Some of us have an account, we've been playing around, we're all surprised by this. And I think one good way is to actually embrace this for different things. So for example, we can start embracing AI. I don't know now because I haven't played enough to know if it's good enough, but I would say in the future models for ChatGPT or even other future language models, to start helping smart contract auditors to audit the contract. I think this definitely will help us to make more secure smart contracts. Of course, with Copilot, help developers to predict patterns. And here is what I wanted to show. This is a project that we saw in India. So what it was doing is, before the user confirming the transaction, they had like a model that goes to the smart contract, read the function that would be executed, and outputs a text. So when the user is confirming the transaction, it's not just the function call, like the function signature. There is actually a text in a human way, like human readable way, where the user can just read, say, oh, okay, actually my transaction is going to be this, doing this. So from a user experience, this is a nice idea. That's why we put it here. There's some examples that we can start using AI to simplify the onboarding of that next wave of users. And the last is definitely the communication. So for example, in case this is push, so for example, let's say that someone has a very nice NFT, and we know we are on Ethereum, so we know that who owns the NFT, but all we know is the wallet address. So we don't know their phone number, we don't know their Telegram ID, we don't know their Discord, but wallet address. With protocols like push, that's all you need to start a conversation. So then you can send a message to this user and then start chatting and then go on from there. Notifications as well, something happened on chain, then I can get notified. And a great example for this is, for example, let's say that I'm one of the signers in Safe, and let's say there's a new transaction for me to sign. We're all knowing DAOs, our friends have to keep tagging us on Discord or Slack, like, hey, there's a new transaction, can you sign this transaction? That's what we do. It would be much easier for me to receive a push notification on my phone saying, hey, Fabio, you have a transaction to sign. And I just, oh, that's nice. And I click on the notification, then I can get redirected to the Safe app or to the Safe app, and I just sign the transaction. So we reduce that noise on Discord and Slack that we are all we're all being tagged a lot on those transactions. Yeah, as I said, just some examples of how push notifications can be, like in this example, just for super fluid notifications when there is a new transaction, a new stream starts, so then I can get notified. And the applications for notifications, they are pretty endless. For governance, for governance proposals, that's a very big one, because I'm passionate about DAOs. I think they're amazing way, they're interesting way of human coordination in the digital world. So definitely where users can get notified whenever there's an governance proposal, that is amazing. For DeFi, of course, me getting a notification before I'm actually liquidated is way better user experience than me actually getting liquidated and only find out a couple days later. For NFT as well, a lot of good examples when someone places a bid, or when you're in the metaverse and there is a new event, you can get a notification on your wallet saying there's a new event in a couple of days. So please, I don't know, start farming some coins because there is some nice items that you can buy. Yeah, and the solution that Push is building is, first is an open communication layer. So the idea is anyone can simply go into the network and fetch the notification themselves. The notifications, they are completely dynamic in the sense that you want to send notifications from smart contracts, you can, from subgraphs, you can, manual notifications, you want to send notifications from the backend, you can as well. And the content of the notification itself, it is completely flexible. You can send a live stream, you can send a governance proposal, you can send a markdown, like the formatting, you can send pretty much anything, a video. There's no restriction on what the notification looks like. And lastly, it's multi-chain. That means that as of now, we're on Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain with other chains very, very soon. It is gasless. So for sending notifications, there are no fees involved. And most importantly, for me, that's the most important. There is no fee for receiving the notifications. So a lot of people usually ask that, me as an end user, do I have to pay anything to receive notifications from Push, or to receive a chat message from Push protocol for Push chat? What do I have to do? For the end user, there's no cost involved. So the end user just go there, and the notifications, they're opt-in based, in a sense that the user only gets notified about the things that the user wants to. So for example, once we go to Push protocol dapp, we're going to see something called channels, and the concept, it is exactly like YouTube channels. where each protocol, they have a channel, and me as an end user, I can subscribe to that channel so I can start receiving the notifications. So for example, we're gonna have the Uniswap channel, the decentralized channel, the ENS channel, the MakerDAO channel, the Superfluid channel. And me as an end user, I can pick and choose what I want to get notified. Let's say that I'm into DeFi, so I can just go into Aave and click opt-in, just sign a message. So then that's all. I pay nothing. And from the moment that I sign the message, I give consent into the protocol to notify me. From the moment onwards, I'll start receiving notifications in this example from Aave. And lastly, I think that's another very important point. The notifications and the chat, it is platform agnostic delivery in a sense that you don't need to have push protocol mobile app or push protocol browser extension or push protocol dApp itself. So you don't need to go to any of those push protocol interfaces to receive the notifications. Push protocol is just the infrastructure layer. Any dApp, any front end, any mobile app can simply tap into the network, fetch the notifications using the SDK, and display wherever they want to display. So for example, if you have a mobile wallet, then you just import the push SDK, and then you could start displaying notifications to your users. So by no means users need to go to any of the push protocol front ends to receive the notifications. Of course, we do support this for better user experience, but by no means user need to know that or need to go to push protocol UIs to receive the notifications or chat messages. It's just a protocol. Anyone can simply integrate the React components that we have and display the notifications there. At push, we have sent over 25 million notifications to 70,000 different subscribers, and we have over 150 integrations. And usually what I say is notifications, they're only important if they have meaning to the end user. Otherwise, it's just spam, right? And so the end user must opt in to receive notifications that they want to. So that's why we work so hard to have very different use cases for notifications. For example, we have a lot of different DeFi protocols. We have a lot of DAOs, metaverse infrastructures, socials, gaming, media, content, and services. So the user can literally just pick and choose what they want to notify. And the protocol is permissionless. So if your protocol is not here, you don't need to ask permission from push to add your protocol here. You just go to the push tab and create a channel so you can start notifying your end users. And lastly, we've been working with notifications for over 2 years now. And 7 months ago, we announced something called push chat, which is the logical next step after this notification layer have been battle tested over 2 years. And the idea is, since chat is built on top of this notification layer, every chat messages you receive will always have a notification alongside with this. So the idea is the user experience is exactly like using WhatsApp, for example. Whenever someone messages me, I receive a notification saying, hey, 0xABC send you a text message. Or 0xABC is calling you, or video calling you. So that's the idea. So here on the left, that's how the UI looks like. And on the right, here's the mobile app. So yeah, and it's just a protocol. Of course, we do have our own UIs, but you can, of course, build your own UI, like we have some protocols doing now that they're just building their own custom UI suited for the use cases. But in the hood, they're just using push chat because push chat is just the infrastructure protocol. That's how the chat looks like. And with push chat, we have wallet chat, but we also have group chats. So with group chats, that's very important for DAOs as well. In the idea that I can create a token gated group where all the group people can only join this group if they hold a particular NFT. Or I can create a token gated group where users can only join my group if they hold a certain amount of some governance tokens, right? So imagine like for user engagement, that's very important because now you have a communication protocol And the Web3 communication protocol natively can check if you can be part of this group or not, differently from other messaging protocols that you have to leave that Discord group or a group to prove that you hold a particular NFT or to prove that you actually are you have some ERC20 tokens. So here, since everything is in Web3 native, so you have a Web3 native way to check if you actually can be part of this group or not. So why this is important? Because we can reduce a lot of hacks, a lot of Discord hacks that we see where people leave Discord to prove something and then that's where the hack happens. Here it's just built into the protocol. And of course, we have SDKs. I think that's the most important. User experience first. And in this example, developer experience first. So everything that we do, we always have SDKs out so people can integrate. Yeah, this is we're going to change this a lot, but this is the current state. This is, for example, how you can send a notification to a wallet address. Here in this case, the recipients are the wallets who get notified. And the channel is the notifications coming from this channel here. And here's how to send a chat message. All of those code samples here, they're going to change a lot, but I just wanted to show the current state of how you can send a notification or send a chat message. And some things we're working on, that's not new, but we're working on video chat, wallet video chat, and wallet group chat as well. Group chat video calls, the idea that I can have a group, I can have a token gated group, and I can just video call everyone. We're working on private chat, incentivized chat, and lastly, message gating. And that's all that I have. Hope you guys liked it. If you have any question, please go to Discord. We're very active there. And for all those devs, for the devs here, if you have any question, please go to the push docs. We spend a lot of time trying to make the docs as easy as possible. So it's easier for people to integrate, and because dev user experience matters and also developer experience matters. So that's why we spend a lot of time here in the developer docs. That's all from me. Thank you.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you, Fabio. I feel, it's very innovative and fascinating what you guys are doing over there. And I feel like I, personally have learned a lot about, not only Web3 backend in UI, UX, but also Web2. And I think, the analogies that you used were really clear and easy to follow. I did have one follow-up question for you, if that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think, a lot of us who have been in the space for a while, the blockchain, crypto, Web3 space, sort of grew up with this new sort of innovative technology that required a lot of kind of like tweaking. There's been developments in the UI, UX over time, and that's something that you're obviously addressing very directly with Push Protocol. Do you think, I think the question is two parts. One, do you think that change or that shift is like a necessary update for the space? If so, does it change sort of the ethos of, I guess, kind of like the crypto thing that we got into initially? And the second is, you've talked a lot or used a lot of examples of, Web2 UI and UX, and the ways that you're adopting some of those styles or, some of these patterns to create your protocol. But what are sort of the innovations that you're working on, or the new things that you're thinking of beyond, sort of mapping to a Web2 space?
Right. So just for understood, the first question is if all these UX improvements that we have talked about, if they align with the Web3 ethos, or that's what was the question?
Yeah, I think does this, I think a lot of us who got into it early, and this is the way that tech develops, but we got into this thing early and we sort of used the clunky AI and sort of these change in technology. But is that something that you see as like a necessary update to the original system? And do you think it sort of changes like the original sort of like reason that some of us got into it, because the tech was new and interesting and kind of difficult to use, but also rewarding when you do learn how to use it?
Yeah, actually, that's a very good question. From my point of view, of course, they can have different opinions. My point of view, I think that's a necessary step. Because at first, most people that were like very early on in the space, there are a lot of people that have A lot of them, they were tech people, developers, engineers, or people that were interested in the technology itself, but not the average user. And not only this, but not only that, people that can benefit the most from crypto, they were not probably interested at first because they lack information or where they come from, they don't have internet or some of these things. I think all of the things we're building crypto because we want to, crypto helps a certain group of people a lot. And I think that's, we must, like, we're building this technology, of course, for ourselves because I like, but also because this can benefit a lot of people all around the world. And usually for people from all the are like from other communities that they lack information, where they lack like some even English knowledge. A lot of people are not familiar with English, so we have to think to make crypto reach out to those people, to those communities. I think that's a necessary step where, for example, we can have dapps in different languages. As of now, everything's in English, so we can have in Spanish, we can have in Chinese, we can have Japanese or Portuguese. Those changes, change the UI. So I think those are necessary changes so we can onboard these new communities that they will definitely benefit the most from all we're building here. I think TLDR, I think that's a necessary step so we can bring this new community to enjoy all the benefits from Web3.
Awesome. I think that's a really great point. It feels like, it's sort of preserving the ethos of decentralization and, reaching more users and helping more people out. I think that's a really good take. Then the second part of the question then was with the adoption of or bringing of more people to Web3, a lot of sort of like the analogies that you use are from the Web2 space. What are some of the sort of innovations that you, I think, are making as a project, as a team, that are sort of that maybe we haven't seen in the Web2 space? What are kind of the new exciting things that you're working on?
Yeah, I think definitely the one thing that we're working on that I think that's very innovative is building this communication layer, first off in public, not only in public, but in a way that we have established process where the community and the users in general can simply come in and propose suggestions or even make suggestions themselves. So it's an open protocol. If you want to add a new feature on chat or you want to add a new feature on the notifications, it's completely open. You can just go there. We have something called push improvements proposal. So anyone can go there and suggest changes. So different from what we see from those big Web2 companies that it is what it is. You as a user, of course, you have your voice, but it's not like in Web2 where we can just submit a PR and change the code and change the protocol itself. So I think that's a huge innovation, not only for push, but pretty much all Web3 protocols, but for push specifically, since we're talking about push, we're building a big innovation from my point of view is building this communication layer that is new in the open, where the community is incentivized and the community should, and we want the community to make changes and suggest changes, saying what we're doing right, so we keep doing what we're doing wrong, so we change it, because a protocol is not for us, we're building a protocol for the community. So the community is very important. That's the success for any protocols only in the community. To build something nice, but there's no users, so nice, but I mean, don't have users. And I think the other thing is we're building this communication layer, but we want to decentralize this. So eventually the community will be able to run something that we call push nodes. So they help make the network more decentralized and more censorship resistant. So I think that's a very nice innovation that we're aiming for, that we're working on, is to have the community help not only to change the protocol itself, but also soon they can start getting incentivized by running nodes so they can help decentralize this communication layer of Web3. So it's very community focused. And I think that's what it should be. And yeah, we're building something for the community. So the community is number one priority. If the community is not happy, if the community is not enjoy what we're doing, that means we're doing something wrong. So we have to adjust the ship to see what we can fix our mistakes and deliver the most value to the community. So I think that's the big things that we're doing there. It's kind of innovating.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're really excited to see what comes next. And Thank you so much for your awesome explanation and your thorough explanations of what you guys are doing over at Push Protocol. I just wanted to ask you if you had anything else before we close up this section.
No, not really. Just happy for this. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk here, to talk to this community, and yeah, very happy. And any questions, just please hit us on Discord, go to the developer docs, and give us your feedback. Thank you. I love feedbacks. I think that's the only way to be good projects. So please be 100% honest and tell us what we have to improve, what we're doing right. And thank you so much for the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you to you, Fabio, and the Push Protocol team for joining us today for another segment of UETH workshop segment. So have a great one.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.